see Lindelof videos, geometry. So today we're going to be doing part 2 of the use parallel lines and transversals video. In part 1, I go over the different postulates and theorems that you need to find the measures of angles when you have two parallel lines like this cut in half by a transversal. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. In this video, part 2, today I'm going to be finding the measures of the angles using the postulates and theorems we learned. So first, it says here to find measures of angle 1 and measure of angle 2. So here's angle 1 and here's angle 2. And explain your reasoning. So how we're going to explain how we found these measures is by using the postulates and the theorems that we learned. So first thing you can do is you can look at angle 1 and this angle here, which is 95 degrees. So from what we learned in the last video, we learned that these angles here are consecutive interior angles, meaning they lie on the inside of the two parallel lines and they're right next to each other. So we learned that consecutive interior angles are supplementary, or they equal 180 degrees. So we can say the measure of angle 1 plus 95 degrees equals 180 degrees, because we know that that has to be true. So the easy way we can figure this out is we can just do some subtraction. Subtract 95 from both sides so we can get measure of angle 1 on its own is equal to 180 minus 95. Cancel some stuff out here. You get 17, this is 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 17 minus 9 is 8. Measure of angle 1 is 85 degrees. And if you don't think it's right, we can check by saying 85 plus 95 is equal to 180 degrees, which it better be. 5 plus 5 is 10, carry your 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, 180 degrees. So that satisfies that. So you can find the measure of angle 2 one of two ways. You can look at angle 2 and this angle here, which is 95 degrees, and you can say those are vertical angles. Vertical angles are always equal to each other. And these two angles here are vertical angles. Or you can look at it again as consecutive interior angles, because angle 1 and angle 2 lie inside the two parallel lines. So since we learned about consecutive interior angles, we'll just use that way. So we know that measure of angle 1 is 85, so we can say 85 degrees plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180. So subtract 85 from both sides to get measure of angle 2 on its own. You get measure of angle 2 is equal to, cancel that, make that 0, make this 17, make this 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, 17 minus 8 is 95. And again, we can check and make sure and say that 95 plus 85 equals 180 degrees. 5 plus 5 is 10, carry your 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18, 180 degrees. So, that satisfies, I'm getting stuck. That satisfies that this needs to equal 180 degrees. The measure of these two angles needs to equal 180 degrees. So, the measure of angle 2 is 95 degrees, and the measure of angle 1 is 85 degrees. Okay. Next one is I'll change colors. The measure of angle 1 is here, and the measure of angle 2 is here. I think it was supposed to be in here. Let me fix that. There we go. So again, these two, and wait, no, I think the placement of that 135 is wrong. Sorry, let me fix that. The 135 should be here. That actually makes a really big difference for our answer. So we learned about the corresponding angles postulate, which means that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. So these two are corresponding angles because they both lie on the right side of the parallel lines. So these are corresponding interior angles. So that means that 135 degrees is congruent to angle 1. So angle 1 is equal to 135 degrees because they're corresponding angles. And then angle 1 and angle 2 are consecutive interior angles, I think. Hang on one second. Oh no, they're not, I'm sorry, they're not consecutive interior angles because they're not inside, but they are supplementary angles. My mistake. So we know that angle 1 is 135 degrees plus the measure of angle 2 needs to equal 180. So we can subtract 135 from 180. That cancels out, and you get the measure of angle 2 is equal to, make this a 7, make this a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus, that looks like a 9, sorry. 7 minus 3 is 4. So we can check to see if 135 plus 45 gives us 180. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 0 is 1. 180 degrees. So the measure of angle 2 is equal to 45 degrees because these angles here, they're not consecutive interior angles. That was my mistake because they're not in the space between the two parallel lines. However, they are supplementary angles. I don't know how to say that word. So yeah, this is 135 because it's a corresponding angle to this one. And measure of angle 2 is 45 because it's a supplementary angle to angle 1. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know if there's anything else that I can help you with. And please subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!